In this video, I will be teaching you how to convert fractions to percents. Before we start practicing the conversion of fractions to percents. Let's recap what percents actually are. We got to this at the very end of class yesterday. So the word percents is actually two words together. Percents. And then we had a discussion about where do we see cents in real life. We see cents as pennies. If I say I have 72 cents, my brain usually thinks, well, that means I have 72 pennies. And what do we know about pennies? Other than they're brown and round, we know that 100 cents make $1. So per 100 cents, or per 100 as we wrote in our notebook yesterday. But the statement per 100 cents, or the reason we can say 100 pennies make $1 is because each penny has the same value. Even if it's a new penny that was just minted, which means created yesterday. I just got it from Chase Bank. So it's the shiny brown pennies that you see. Or a penny from 50 years ago that's turning blue, that's rusted, that I found on the floor. Even though one is newer than the other one, they're still both worth 1 cent. So the reason we say the statement 100 cents make $1 is because it's per 100 equal parts. They have equal value. So in order for percent to work, this idea that we emphasized yesterday, equal, in order for percents to work, everything needs to be cut into equal parts. And then I added, at the very end of class, I showed all of you the percentage symbol, which we had a little discussion. You've all seen this before. Sometimes you've seen at the store 25% off. So 25%. Now, what does this actually mean? Now, in class, I said, if you notice, this is kind of like a diagonal one. And then the two circles, if we think about them mathematically, that means those are zeros. So 25% actually means 25 out of 100. So this is what 25% actually means. It's a different notation for this fraction. 25 out of per 100 equal parts. So the percentage symbol itself emphasizes this idea that, hey, I need to cut this into 100 equal pieces. Again, equal, very important that we understand this idea of equal, which is why we focused on that yesterday. That was a little recap of our last 5 minutes of class yesterday. Now we can use this to convert fractions to percents, because percentages are fractions. We got to this at the end of class again. Percentages are fractions. 25%, that's a fraction. 50%, that's 50 over 100, that's a fraction. So if you understand fractions, you should understand percents. It's all connected. So I'm going to do two problems that are from Khan Academy. I just took screenshots, so you might see these in your activity. If not, you probably got a different 4 problems, but here we go. 23 out of 50 of Xander's friends prefer to stay home on Friday nights. What percent of Xander's friends prefer to stay home on Friday nights? What percent? So per 100 of Xander's friends prefer to stay home on Friday night. So this is what they're asking us to find. They're asking us to find the percent which again, at the very end, it just means per 100. So this is the original fraction, 23 out of 50. And they want this to equal per 100. So out of 100, if Xander had 100 friends, how many friends would like to stay home on Fridays? Well, this is just equivalent fractions. Basically, you have to make these equal each other. How do I do that mathematically? Yesterday we drew the pictures of equivalent fractions. And it means that if two fractions are equivalent, they would have the same shaded region. But how do I do this mathematically? Mathematically, that means, how did I go from 50 friends to 100 friends? That means I doubled his number of friends. So times 2, I doubled. Well, if I double his number of friends, I'm also going to double the number of friends that want to stay home on Friday nights. 23 times 2 would be 46. So that means if Xander had 100 friends and we asked 100 friends, 46 of them would say we prefer to stay home on Friday nights. Now, this is not what you're going to type in as your answer for this activity. Again, this is not what you're going to type in. Now that this is a fraction out of 100, you write it as a percent. How do I write a percent? Well, using the percentage symbol. Again, mathematicians are lazy. They don't want to write this. This seemed too complicated for them. So that's why they created, hey, put 46 and the percentage symbol. I believe in Khan Academy, the percentage symbol will already be there. So your job is just to type in 46. Do not attempt to type in 46 over 100. It will mark it wrong. Number 2. Lena's company revenue in 2017 is 36 over 25 of its revenue in 2016. Not 2016, 2016. What is Lena's company's revenue in 2017 as a percent of its revenue in 2016? So again, the percent. So they're asking us to find percent, which means per 100, which means as a fraction with a 100 in the denominator. They tell me that it's 36 over 25. So if I want these fractions to be equivalent, I'm going to need to multiply the numerator and the denominator of this fraction by the same number. So how do I go from 25 to 100? Times 4. Because 25, that's a quarter. So 4 quarters make 100. $1. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. 36 times 4. That's not something I can do mentally this early in the morning. 24. That's 12 plus 2. 144. 144. So Lena's company is making this, but we're not going to say 144 out of 100. This is where percentage is important. So per 100, 144. Let's just write that as a percent. 144%. And you would just write this in this box that it gives you. So what does this mean? This means Lena's company made 144% of its revenue in 2016. And now another question that usually pops up among students. I thought that the max percent is 100. You can only do 100%. The percentages can be higher than 100. It's okay to get a percentage that's higher than 100. It's actually going to happen quite often. Once we get to bigger percentages over 100, we're usually going to talk about money, and that's usually a good thing. So, like, what does this problem mean? What does this percent mean? This means that she made more money this year, or sorry, in 2017, than she made in 2016. She made more money in 2017 than she made in 2016. That's what this means. That's why it's bigger than 100. And that is it. I wanted to go over one problem where you're going to get a percentage over 100, and then a problem where you're going to get a percentage under 100, just to clarify that it's okay to get a percentage that's over 100. And we'll get in a lot more word problems when we return to school. Hopefully this helped. If you have any questions, just check in with me. Hopefully my daughter lets me work with you guys today.